Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the CNP Claims webinar. My name is Alyssa Mank. I work for the Child and Adult Care Food Program. This webinar is being recorded. Normally, we respond to questions after the webinar is over. Today, due to the hands-on nature of the claiming system, I'm going to do my best to answer questions throughout the webinar today. So if you have questions, you should see a chat box in the webinar section, and you should be able to enter in your questions there. My plan is to take you step by step through the claiming process, and then we will switch gears and I will take you into the CNP web testing page and show you how to submit a claim. Let's take a second and make sure that the chat box is actually working correctly. If you're listening and you can type in the question box, can you tell me which town you are attending from today? All right, looks like it's working. Perfect. Farmingdale, Calais, Belfast, Presque Isle. Perfect. All right, let's get started. So obviously this is the web page link that you go to log in and where you navigate CNP Web. This new online claiming system will complete claims within the CNP Web system. There'll be more visibility on the status of a claim. You'll be able to see when your claim has been submitted or if it's been approved. Once the claim is in approved status, it will be sent down to the finance department to be processed in the next payment batch. We're currently working with the finance department for the state of Maine to figure out what that process is going to look like because it's brand new. So we'll make sure we fill you in as far as the time period. This is the sponsor user manual. You all received one at the CACFP annual conference last year, and you have the ability to look at it through CNP Web on the help link. And I have also attached it to this presentation in the handout section. So if you have any questions about CNP Web, that's a great resource for you to go to if we're not available. So you all should be familiar with the CNP login page. This is where you enter your user ID and your password that was given to you. Most of you have already logged in before, so you have created your own password. If you've logged into CNP Web in the last 2 weeks or so, you should have seen our first notice. This lets you know that your agreements were officially transitioned into the program year 2020. Anytime we have important notices regarding your agreement or claims, we will notify you via email, but also we will post a message on the CACFP notice page within CNP Web. So anytime there's something important, I know when we see a page all the time, we kind of get used to clicking away, but make sure that you read those notices because they can change from time to time. This screen will require you to select a program year. Currently, there will be only 1 year listed. Make sure as the years go on that you're clicking the correct program year on the left. It's the 2020 in blue. And you are all familiar with your sponsor summary screen, except today we're going to be going over a tab that you have not used. We are going to go over the Claims tab and the Payments tab. In order to submit a claim, the program year packet must be in approved status. So as of yesterday, everyone had at least started. There's 93 sponsors in approved status, and there are a few that are still working on their corrections. So much improvement from last week. Those of you that have questions or it says pending, make sure that you reach out to us. We want to make sure everyone is in approved status. There are two ways to submit claims. The first is uploading a site claim data file. The second is entering claim data for each site. Those sponsors with a lot of sites are encouraged to use the uploading process. And that's more of our daycare homes, not really centers. We just don't have enough providers to make it beneficial to use the upload. These quick reference guides were given out at the last annual training. I meant to upload them today, but when I was getting into the system, I noticed that the incorrect web address is on the one that's attached to the help page. So I am correcting that, but we do have these available. And if you would like one, you can certainly send me an email and I can email it to you. So this is what the claim tab should look like once you have an approved agreement. Right now, you'll probably only be able to see October 2020 because that's the only claim that you'll be allowed to put in since it's the beginning of the claim year. The Claims tab is where you create and edit sponsor and site provider claims. This tab features some different buttons that you might not be familiar with yet. So when you first go in to submit your claim, you're going to hit the expansion button, which is the gray folder next to the month of the claim. The green contraction button will reduce the rows back to displaying only the sponsor claim. If you look to the right of the screen, there's a money sign. That is called a recap button. It takes you to a recap of your sponsor claim. And the blue box with the arrow in it is called the upload button. And we have seen those on the offline page with the uploads. So you should be familiar with that. But that's what you would use to upload the data file for the site claims. So first I'm going to go over how to upload a site claim data file. So again, this is for those sponsors that have lots and lots of providers or centers. So this isn't for everyone. Most of these individuals or these institutions have an electronic system of their own, and this is to make the process easier for them when they enter their claim electronically. So the format of the upload must be a CSV file, and for more information regarding the specifics of the upload, you can go to the Help tab on the CNP webpage. If you have technical questions regarding the file upload process, make sure to contact Steve Brooks. He's the web designer, and he has more of that insight as to computer programming and what is needed. Yes. And we talked about, Steve was at our last annual training as well, and he was there and he was able to talk to people about it. So sometimes it just takes talking to Steve to really grasp what is needed. I'm not computer savvy sometimes, so it's difficult for me. So this is what a CSV file or text file looks like. I can open a CSV file in Excel. However, it is important to know that a CSV file is not an Excel spreadsheet. And I can email this example to any institutions that are interested. So if you look at it, and I hope you all can see, it's kind of coded. So the P's on the left side of the screen in column A, those are providers. So those whole rows with the P's, those are different provider claims. So those would be like daycare home providers. Underneath it is the C's. Those are centers. So those are those individual center claims. And then there's one at the bottom, row 10. It says C, and then beside it, it says HS. That would be a Head Start. And each center and provider have their own unique provider numbers. So you'll see that when you log into CNP Web and you're on your sponsor summary screen as far as the application, I believe, you can see what the provider numbers and the center numbers are. So as far as uploading the site claim data file, so what you would do with the CSV file is you would work with your OIT department to set up this file so that it can pull the information from your electronic system and put it into this specific CSV file organization. So when you download your information into the CSV file, this is what it's going to look like. And then you would then upload this into CNP Web. So to upload it into CNP Web, you're going to select the Claims tab and click Upload the Site Claim Data File button, which is the blue button like we talked about earlier. A sponsor can only upload one claim per month. Any alterations after the initial upload will need to be done manually. So basically, you do not, if you're a daycare home sponsor, you do not want to upload your claim unless you have a majority of your provider claims information in. And the reason being is once you do that first initial upload, then you're going to have to do the claims individually by provider or by center. So wait till you have a decent amount. CNP Web will not pay you unless you have at least 75% of your providers in. So you need to make sure that you have a decent amount of your providers in the upload, and then you would have to enter in those other ones manually. Now, that's not to say that if you do the upload and you're like, shoot, I made a mistake, you can delete it and start again. It's just when you start that process, as far as when you want to make the claim, you need to make sure that you really have all of your, the majority of your provider information in. And it sounds confusing, but when you really get into it, you'll understand. Okay, so you can see that Bangor YMCA has already submitted a claim for February. Now they want to upload a claim for March. So we're going to click on the blue upload button. Okay, this is the next page you're going to see. You're going to select a file from the dialog window. You're going to double click on the file that you want to upload, or click the file once and click the open button. So this is where you would have received that information from your electronic system, saved it into a CSV file on your computer, and now we're pulling that file into CNP Web. So CNP will analyze the file that you have selected, and if there are errors, it will notify you. If the file is acceptable, then it will tell you that as well. So the window here appears stating 1 sponsor claim was posted, 3 center claims were posted, and 0 provider claims were posted. So we can see that 2 uploads were complete, 1 was missing, and 1 had errors. The center would then need to correct all the errors and submit the missing claim before submitting the sponsor claim for payment. So you've got your header file for the month that you are submitting your claim for. It's called the sponsor claim. And then underneath those, when you open the green contraction button, it's going to bring down all of your sites. So each site has their own claim. And that's why it's so important for the people with lots of sites to do the upload, because it will automatically do that for you. And then for like Bangor YMCA, the one that was missing, you would have to go in manually and enter it. And then Central Community Elementary School, you would have to log into that one, correct the errors, save it. And then once these all say complete, that's when you would know that your claim's doing okay. You would then have to go, I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse, but to the right side of the screen under the sponsor claim. So it says March 2019, sponsor claim, pending submission. So once all your claims below it are complete status, you would go to the pencil, go into the claim, and at the bottom you have to certify that information is correct and save it. And once you save it, it's going to change from pending submission to pending approval. I don't have a picture of that here, but I'll show you when we get into the testing site. Once all the site data has been uploaded, if there were no errors, all the site claims would be in complete status. The sponsor will then also have been automatically created, but it's not complete yet. Like I said, you need to edit the claim, by clicking the Edit button in the far right-hand side of the screen. Review the information on it, check the sponsor certification checkbox, and click the Save button. This will submit both the sponsor and the site claims, which will then be in pending approval status. We will review and approve them. When a sponsor claim is in approved status, it's going to be processed in the next payment batch. This talks about entering the claim data for each site. You would select the claims tab like we did before, click the expansion button, so that's the green button at the claim month to see the site. You would click the add button to the right of the screen to add that site claim, enter the site claim data, and then click the save button. Correct any errors until the site claim is in complete status. Repeat these steps for each of your sites. Once all the sites are in status of complete, the sponsor claim must be edited, certified, and saved. The sponsor and site claims will then be in pending approval status. And again, we will approve them, and when the claim is in approved status, it can be processed in the next payment batch. So, once you have submitted your claims to us, then you get to go to the Payments tab in CNP Web. The Payments tab lists the reimbursements from DOE for claims submitted by the sponsor and previously approved by DOE. Each payment could cover one or more sponsor claims. In Figure 19, which is the figure above, note that one of the payments is open using an expansion button. See the area circled in green. It shows one sponsor claim for the month of October 2017. If there were multiple claims covered in that payment, that's where they would be listed. The contraction button would be clicked to close that section down so that only the overall payment information in the row displays. It sounds really confusing, but it's really user-friendly once you get into it. Currently, the state of Maine accounting team is testing the software to make sure there are no issues with the payment process once the payments are approved. Every sponsor will complete the claim form for October as per usual and submit it to April via the claim's email address. So that's what we've been doing all along. Then each sponsor will take that white claim form and enter their claim information for October into CNP Web, as I'm about to show you. April will be entering your paper claims in the old system and comparing the data to the claims you submitted in CNP Web. This test allows us to really see how the system is working and allow us a backup plan should an issue arise. And so there's no delay in payments as well. We want to assist you any way that we can during this process, so feel free to contact us directly with questions. All right, so I'm going to check to make sure that I don't have any questions pending, and then we'll go into the testing system. We're going to get out of here, maybe. All right. Now, can you all see my screen? I can see it. Okay. I can see my 3 kiddos, my nephew, for Halloween. Okay. I've never done a live screen webinar, so this will be interesting. Okay, perfect. Why it's not. Bear with me, you guys. I want to be able to see your questions if we have any. All right. All right, I guess I'll have to put that back. I'll have to check in on the questions because I can't see my screen to do the live demo. All right, so I'm going to log in like it's the real site, although it's a test site. I'm going to click the 2019 year because that's what I have in here. You will not see this screen. This is what the state has for a screen, but I'm going to pick Androscoggin Head Start because that's what we have for an example for claim upload. Can't see with this thing here, I'm sorry. Move it down. Okay, I I just hid the control panel, so I cannot see your questions right now, but I need to be able to see the screen. So this should look familiar to all of you. You all have the sponsor summary screen, the checklist tab. You've been working in the applications tab. I don't believe you can see the activities. That's where we take notes when you call us. And we all have the claims tab. So I'm going to click on the claims tab. Now you can see I submitted an August claim for them at the last annual training. We are going to test the system and submit a July claim. So this is first, I'm going to do the upload, and then I'll show you how to do the individual sites. So I'm going to click the blue upload button. Again, it brings us to this window. We're going to select our file. And it brought it right up for me. Great. So we're going to do July. That's that CSV file that we talked about. Okay, so it uploaded it successfully because it tells me that it did something. If it was to say errors, that means that there was something wrong in the CSV file. It wasn't set up right, or the formatting wasn't correct. So if you have an upload, this is what Steve, the developer, told me. If the file uploads successfully, you'll see this screen. There may be errors to it, but it at least uploaded successfully. If it doesn't upload at all, that's when you know that there's something wrong with your CSV file. All right. So now we can see that something's been submitted, although it's not complete because it says $0. So we're going to go to this gray expansion button, and I'm going to open it up, and we can see all the individual claims within that July claim. All right, so we can see that some of the providers are missing their site claims, and some centers are missing, and there's a provider with one in errors and a center with an error. So let's correct the errors first. So I'm going to click the pencil, and this system is really handy because it shows you on the left side of the screen where your errors are in red. So if you click right there, it's going to take you to the errors. Now this is saying suppers cannot be claimed unless the supper meal service is selected on the site application. Evening snacks cannot be claimed unless the evening snack meal service is selected on the site application. So this error is due to the site application being incorrect. You cannot claim meals that are not clicked off in your site application. So if you get this error, it's because you're missing those. So you need to go back to your application and make those changes, or the site sheets and make those changes. I'm tapping on the table, I'm sorry. I speak with my hands. All right, so I'm going to delete these because we were not approved to serve supper and evening snack. And then I'm going to go down and save it. This internal use section you will not see. Okay, now it's saying the site is in complete status, so I'm going to exit right out of that. I'm going to go down. Okay, Helen is her claim is in error status, so let's go find out what's wrong with hers. Okay, same thing, except she was not approved for Tier 1 AM snack or supper. So we're going to remove these and save it. So in your site applications, you've put your enrollment, you've put your site capacity. These are all things that the claim is going to verify off from. So if your numbers are incorrect in your site application, they're going to be incorrect, or the claim is not going to go through. All right. So those are complete. So now I'm going to pretend like we just didn't do the upload for those people that don't have the upload button. So we would go to the claims tab like we just did. We would go to the July claim and click the expansion button. And then all you're going to do for the ones that do not have an upload, you're just going to add a claim. So you're going to press the plus button. All right. These are all going to look different for you all because your sites are going to be different from each other. Daycare home providers are going to look different from at-risk sites, are going to look different from centers. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to enter in the information that I have. So we're going to say she was open for 15 days. Her attendance was 10. We're going to put 10 for breakfast, 10 for lunch, oops, not 19, and 10 for snack. Hopefully I'm doing this right. If it doesn't go right, then it's going to say there's errors. All right, I did it correctly. So then we're going to exit. You can look and see, okay, Rachel's site is now complete. It's the same if I was to do a center or a Head Start. You just press the plus sign and then you enter the information that's required. The good thing about these claim sheets is that it grays out the areas that do not apply to you. So you can see this provider is only allowed to claim Tier 1. She cannot enter in information from Tier 2 higher, Tier 2 lower. Same with the meals. She's only allowed to claim breakfast, snack, lunch, and PM snack. Let's exit out of here. Let me pull a, look at a center one. So this would be my at-risk schools that are on the line. Yours is going to look more like an a center claim, except for in the free section, that's the only white box that's going to be open. The reduced and the paid boxes will be grayed out because everyone is at the free rate of reimbursement for at-risk sites. So you would enter in your information based on what you claim, hit save. Okay. Once all of these are done, then you can, well, not all of them, at least 75% of your provider, site, centers, whatever you have is complete, then you can submit your sponsor claim for reimbursement. Now, this provider or the sponsor doesn't have 75%. So I'm going to try to push it through anyway on my end so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to say, so the sponsor claim provides a summary of all the claims that you've done underneath that original file. So all those individual site claims, this one sponsor claims adds all the information together and provides you with a breakdown so you can see, okay, we served 364 free breakfasts, 221 reduced, 309 paid, and it goes down. All right, and then at the end, this is for our daycare home sponsors. They have administrative costs they need to put in, so they can put it in there. And then we're going to certify that this is correct. I've looked at it. It looks good on my end. Whoops. And I'm going to hit save. And I believe it's going to kick it back. Okay, it's in a status of error, so let's see why. All right, down here. All site claims must be entered. After entering all site claims, resubmit this form to clear this history. And then again, it says at least 75% of the provider claims must be entered. All right, so I'm going to push this through on my end so that we can see what it looks like. Okay, now it's in pending approval status. So let's get out of here so you can see what that looks like. When you know that your claim is in pending approval status, which means it's been sent to the state, the money listed next to the money sign is your biggest clue. It's compiled your claim and it's sent it to us. If you have zeros there, it means you haven't officially certified and saved your claim. If you see numbers, that's a good thing. All right, so I'm going to show you what it looks like when a claim has been approved from the state. So just bear with me for a second because this is a screen you do not have and you will not see. If I can find it. Well, apparently it's not going to work, but we can look into, I did one for August. So if I go back to the sponsor summary screen, that's the thing about working in a testing system. It's not live because it protects your information, but it also makes things tricky because once it's been done, I can't undo it. So we're going to look at the August claim for them. So we're going to close July. So this is once you see money, it's an approved status. That means that your claim has been approved by the state and it's been sent to finance. So you can go then up to your payments tab and you can see your August claim, how much you're receiving and the breakdown. And then you can also open up the batch number. Once it's been assigned a batch number, that means it's been sent to finance. It will tell you the date it's been processed, and then again, the breakdown. Now, if you need to make a revision, I made a mistake on my claim, I should have entered something differently, you would go to the edit button. Oh, I'm sorry, you wouldn't go to the edit button yet. You're going to want to go to where the error is that you made. So I'm going to open this file up, if it's going to let me. Here we go. Okay, say, oh shoot, I forgot to claim. Well, maybe, no, it's not letting me do it. I wonder if it's because it's been too long, you guys. I'm sorry. All right, well, I can't show you a revision, but what you would do is you would then go to the site where you made the issue, okay? You would hit the edit button, which is the pencil. You would make your changes, and then you would hit save. And then you would need to come up again to the sponsor claim, go to the edit button, recertify that information is okay, and hit save. Then it will be in pending approval status yet again. And you can see here, I wonder if you can show the screen. Here we go. So you can see, okay, I've made a revision because there's a 1. If there's a 0, it means it's the original claim. Anytime you make a revision, it's going to be 1. If you make 2 revisions, it's going to be 2. All right, and it looks like the revision we approved. So then if you look down underneath the claim, you can see that, okay, well, Bates Street Child Care Center was paid. Coburn Center was paid. Hillview Head Start Center is in complete status. So that is the one where I made the revision because you can see there's a 1. All right. Anytime you need to make a revision, you probably should call us the first time. That way we can walk you through it. And let me see if we have any questions. I apologize. I was hoping I'd be able to see the box and my screen, but that was not possible. So let's go over some questions. If you do not want to listen to questions, feel free to leave. The webinar is over, but I will go through the questions now and see. All right. I'll start at the top and work my way down. Connie asked, do I have to enter the claim by uploading a CSV file, or can I enter individual until I get the CSV file set up? If you don't think you're going to have the CSV file set up in time, you can certainly enter claims individually for your daycare home providers. Nicole Emerson said, can we do these sheets as we receive the information from the individual providers, or do we have to wait until we have them all? As soon as the claim month is over, you can start entering in the provider information, certainly, but you cannot submit it for approval until you have at least 75% of your providers or I think all your centers have to be entered. I hope that helps, Nicole. If you have a lot of daycare home providers, you may not want to start that because then if you have a CSV file upload, it may not let you upload it if you have the same provider information you already put in the claim file, if that makes sense. Call me if you have a question. Susan Sapil, how do you handle a late claim for a prior month? So you would do exactly the same way. You would go into the claim that you already submitted. You would hit the edit button. You would edit the site claim that has the issue. You would save it, then you would recertify it and submit it for approval. And that's where you would see that revision. It would change from revision 0 to revision 1. If you ever have any questions, feel free to contact us. Revisions are tricky. Anybody else have any questions? How about my schools? Do the schools have any questions? This is the first training they've received on the claim system. Okay, I don't see any more questions coming in. You're welcome, Connie. All right. Well, if we don't have any questions, I will end this training. Oh, wait, I'm getting some questions in now. Can you tell us what information from the white sheet we are currently using goes where in the form? So when you do the white claim sheet, that is basically your totals. So let's see if they have a center. Michelle, I don't know, I don't remember where you're from, but I'll show you a center claim. So we've got Bates Childcare, so we'll click on that. So you know on your white form that you submit to the state for the claim now, it has your free, reduced, and paid totals, and then your total enrollment. It always asks your number of operating days and your total monthly attendance, or your average daily attendance. So the difference between the white claim form and the system is that it's not asking you to do the calculation for average daily attendance. It's just asking you your total monthly attendance. So that is your total monthly attendance per day added up for the month. So this center had 835 kids in attendance throughout the entire month. It's cumulative. And then the system calculates the average daily attendance based on the information that you provide. And your capacity is based off from what you put in your site information sheet. So this, yes. So you would put your total meals that you served, again, like which is on the paper, and it's going to calculate which ones of those were free, reduced, and paid. And then it's going to calculate your average daily participation. So it's pretty easy. It's very similar to the white form. The only difference is the attendance. So you're just putting in your total monthly attendance. You're not doing the calculation for the system and putting in your average daily attendance. If you do put in the average daily attendance on accident, it's going to error out because it's going to be saying, well, you can't claim that many meals because you haven't had that much attendance. So make sure that you do enter that in correctly. All right. Okay, good. She was the center. Can we view this webinar again? Yes, the webinar is being recorded and we'll have it posted. I may do it again, not live, so that we don't have all these questions at the end. That way it can be just a really clean webinar. What is the website to view? That's from Michelle Davis. You mean the website to log in? It's https://www.cnpwebsite.com, and it's /Maine. On my screen, you say Maine test. That's because it's a testing site. You would just do /Maine. Kim, how do you enter revision info when adding meals for a claim that has already been paid? So you would have to, I can't show you that on here. We'd have to talk you through it, but it's very much the same. Michelle, if we are all set up with a CSV file, do we still need to put the info into CNP Web? So the CSV file has to be uploaded into CNP Web if you want to submit a claim. Kim, if you need help with the revisions, please call us because it will make... You lost sound? My mute button's not on. Can you guys hear me? Barbara's hearing me. Okay. I don't know what's going on, Kim. If you only have one site, this is Paula Bennett. If you only have one site, do I have to upload a file? Absolutely not. It would be in your best interest to enter that site information in manually. So Paula, you would go into your claim. Okay. You would only have one option here because you only have one site, and I'm assuming you're a center. So you would click on, let's click on one that hasn't been. Let's see. Let's do July. All right. So say you only had one center. You would click the plus button to add your site claim information. You would then enter the information in that you have on your white sheet, with the exception of doing the attendance a little differently. And then you would hit save. Okay. Then you would go up to this top button here, the sponsor claim for July. You'd hit the pencil to edit. You would make sure that all this information is correct. It's going to compile all the information into one sheet. You're going to certify that it's correct, and then you're going to hit save. And if everything goes correctly, it should say pending approval status, and then you would have that total amount of your reimbursement listed here. If it just says 0, that means that you haven't officially uploaded it submitted it for approval. All right. I hope that answers that for you, Paula. All right. No, okay, so Michelle Davis said it sounded as though for the first time we have to do 3 steps. Send it to April, upload the CSV file, and put info into CNP Web individually. So no, what I want you to do, there's 2 steps. One, I want you to do your claim as you've always done it before and send it to April on the white paper to the claims email address, okay? Once you've done that, check that off your list. The next is you need to enter that information into CNP Web. You can do that with the upload with the CSV file, or you can do the upload manually. Once you have entered in your site information or your claim information into CNP Web, you just hit submit and you're all set. Barbara asked, we have an adult care and child care. Do these have to be submitted at the same time? Barbara, do you have separate agreements for each one of those? I'm sorry, I don't remember. Or are you all under the same entity? Same entity. Okay. So yes, I believe you would have to submit them both at the same time. You can get into the system and play with it and see, and I can always send it back to you. We don't have to approve it. So you can certainly try, and we'll see what happens, but just give me a call and I can delete it back to you. Let's see. Michelle Belanger. So is the total monthly attendance equal to the total lunches we use on the white form? No. Total monthly attendance is literally attendance. So you would take everyone is required to do attendance. So you would take your attendance at the end of each day and calculate it. So today I had 15 kids. Tomorrow I had 13 kids. And you do it for the entire week, and then you would do it for the entire month. So at the end of the month, you're going to have a big number, and that's the attendance that you enter. It doesn't have to be attendance at the meal. It's attendance that day. Does that make sense? Attendance is always very confusing. Okay. What, if any, reports can we print from you as users from the system? As of right now, there are no reports that we have the ability to have you print. We only have one report as of right now. As this system continues to move forward, we have options for reports. I'm not sure that the reports are for you or for us, but we can certainly look into that for you. That's from Monique. Okay, Monique says, we have updated our family child care homes and they are listed as pending approval. Do we have to wait for you to approve these changes before entering claims for October? So yes, if you made any changes to your agreement, which we want you to do, they have to be approved prior to you entering the claim, or the database is going to reject that portion of your claim. So if you're doing a CSV file, it's going to say, nope, those providers are not in the system as of yet or approved in the system, so it's going to reject it. So make sure that you wait until you're in approved status before you start your claim. Yes. Gotcha, Jane. Yes, so Barbara says we should be able to print the screens though, and the answer is correct. So you can just go ahead and print. I use it for myself when I need to go through the list of all the sponsors. It prints it out on one page. So it's pretty easy. As far as printing out your agreement or claim information, I haven't done that yet, so I can't tell you about it. But like I said, right now the state only has one report available to us, and apparently there's a whole myriad of reports we will have access to. We just haven't hit that point in the development stage of this program yet. So it's coming, but I will make sure to pass it on to the child nutrition director that our people want reports or have the ability to print reports as well. I'm not sure that will happen, but we can certainly pass it on. Some great questions. Anybody else have any questions? Does anybody want me to show you what your claim looks like in CNP Web? I can't enter in any other ones other than Androscoggin Head Start because I just don't have that CSV file. Okay, so Nancy Hawkins asked, why would there be an approved application and no claim with that name? So daycare home providers can add providers as time goes on. So if they didn't have a certain provider in the system when they had the application approved, say they're brand new and they need to enter them in, then that would not be an approved status. We have a lot of daycare home providers, because we started this process back in May, that have termed. So they are in the system, although they've never been claimed in the system. And so we're in the process of removing all of those. So I know Cindy has sent out an email to all the daycare home providers regarding this. So make sure you contact Cindy. But yeah, you can't claim for people that have termed. You can't claim for people that have had site changes made or provider changes made in the system that have not been approved yet. Does that answer your question, Nancy? Okay, so Nancy says she's been approved but not showing up on the claims tab. So make sure you reach out to us because it may just be us activating her in the system. Okay, send us an email with the provider's name. Can you all see the questions, or are you just seeing my sponsor summary screen? Okay. All right. I just don't want anybody to feel self-conscious about asking a question. All right. Does anybody else have any questions, or would they like me to show you what your screen would look like? I can't enter a claim for you, but I can show you what it would look like in the testing system. I think it's going to be relatively easy once everyone gets in there. It's pretty user-friendly. If you get in there and something's not right, or you can't say you're trying to claim supper and it won't let you, it's because your application isn't correct. So if there's ever seems to be an issue with what you can and cannot claim or put in for information, make sure you go back and look at your sponsor application and your site sheets to make sure there isn't an error. All right, so Brooke would like us to look at York County Community Action. So as long as you were in the system when the developer pulled this together for me, we should be able to see you. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm struggling with that chat box. Okay, so York, the bottom. The right one? Yep. Okay, York was approved. Great. So we're going to go to the claims section. Right now we're in a different agreement year in this system, so you can see all the available months that you could have claimed had we been all set to move on. But right now you're only going to see October 2019. So you're going to hit the expansion button. These are all your head starts. And you don't have very many, so I would enter them all individually. So you click the plus sign. You would enter in the information. Let's just do... Actually, no, I can't do that because it's going to error out because I don't know what you had in the system. But it looks like this site is only allowed or approved to do snack. So you would just enter in your free, reduced, and paid information for that site, the number of operating days, the number of attendants, your snack counts for the month, and then you'd hit save. And then that one site would be then complete, and then you'd move on to the next one. And then when all of these are done, you'll be able to click the edit button. There'll be an edit button here. You'll certify it, make sure all the information's right, and click save. Is that helpful? You're welcome. Any other questions? Anybody else want to see theirs? Like I said before, I will re-record this webinar without the questions to make it a little bit easier when you need to view it again. But I just wanted to be able to make this a little bit more hands-on since there are so many questions and it's a brand new system. So I hope that allowing these questions is beneficial. All right, well, I don't see any more questions, so I think I'm going to end the webinar. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I thought I think I took my email address out. But you all have my email address, alyssa.m.mank@maine.gov. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're going to walk you through this process. I was on the phone with someone yesterday trying to submit their claim and realized on our end we hadn't done something to allow you to submit your claim. So it's a learning process for us too. So feel free to call because it might be something that is running behind the scenes that we need to fix or click or whatever to get it to go through. All right, I typed in my email address below if you need it. April and Cindy are also in the office and are available to help in CNP Web as well. So if you have any questions, please reach out. You guys have a good day.